With the announcement of the new World of Warcraft expansion, I think every fan around the world breathed a cautious sigh of relief. Blizzard finally listened. No more cosmic threats, no more cosmic travels. We are heading back to Azeroth. We are going back to the familiar setting where they focus on the world and the gameplay rather than on big threats with massive systems. All in all, a step in the right direction. That is not to say there aren't quite a few question marks. I would have loved to get an even deeper dive into the systems that were announced, few as they were. I would love to know about the new class and their core abilities. What is it going to be like to play a dragon? What is the playstyle going to be? I would love to know more about the talent overhaul and what this would mean for classes in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Perhaps, more than anything, I would love to know a little bit more about the lore of this great, untamed landmass that up until now, we have only been able to speculate about. And speculate, we have. Speaking of speculation, let's speculate on just how cool it is to be one of these lovely people on the screen right now. If you wish to see your name on the screen in the future, click the link in the description down below and become a patron. Or join us over on Twitch, where everything is better when it's live. One system's announcement has me worried about what this will mean for Dragonflight. Dragonriding. At the announcement, this was to be a new way to explore the world. You get your own dragon based on one of the dragonflights, and from there you will level up and gain new skills with this dragon. Subsequently, we learned that this is not flying. At first, your dragon will be able to glide for short distances. You can increase this distance by gaining speed, gliding down a huge mountain, or eventually through different skills you will attain. Exactly how these skills will be attained is still a mystery, but I imagine much of this will be simply by gliding, maybe completing objectives while gliding, and perhaps it may even be tied to the new renown system, where every few renown levels grant you a perk point perhaps. Much of this is just me speculating though, so take it with a grain of salt. Remember what I said earlier? I would have loved if we got just a little bit more information on all of the systems that were announced for the Dragonflight. The most important thing to remember is that this is not flying. In fact, Blizzard have confirmed that you will not be able to fly in the Dragon Isles using your flying mounts from the game. Instead, Dragonriding will be the vehicle through which the world is explored. When you and your dragon reach high enough skill, perhaps permanent gliding may in fact be a thing. But for now, none of that is known. To be fair to Dragonriding, and in a sense to highlight and combat my own biases, I do need to point out, this new system is by far one of the most exciting new features Blizzard have announced in a very long time. The ability to customize your dragon and make it look exactly how you want may actually serve to allay any fears and potential pushback players like myself may have for the potential outcry from players when they realize they won't be able to fly using their own mounts. Also, factor in that this is a new system and may eventually become part of flying in general. What if we can eventually fly around on all our mounts with the special skills and abilities we use in Dragonriding? What if we can eventually fly around on all of our mounts using the very same system with abilities tailored towards maybe not every specific mount, but what about mount groups? What if all horses had their own special abilities and maneuvers that they could use as a form of gliding? In fact, allow flying to be replaced with a form of permanent grinding that requires a little bit of skill to actually use and perfect. This could actually be very, very cool, and in my opinion, one of the greatest ways to, as it were, gate flying in the future. The truth is, flying in World of Warcraft sucks. I have said for many years now that flying in World of Warcraft serves only as a deductive system and adds really nothing to the game. Even the way we unlock flying is very lackluster. From Pathfinder to simply tying into progression, it always feels just a little too grindy and just a little not as much rewarding. Dragonriding certainly changes that. a system to level up in, visible progression as you gain new skill and mastery in flight, well, gliding. All of this sounds amazing to me, with one big caveat. You will not have access to any of your flying mounts in the Dragon Isles, at least to fly on. You can use them as ground mounts, but to fly on, they will not be available. Players in World of Warcraft love their mounts. Many people spend thousands of hours farming that one mount simply to have it, simply to fly around on it. Many flying mounts in World of Warcraft have unique animations, and these animations is what players fall in love with. It's the result of years worth of farming and sweat to show off your mount collection. A system that removes the ability for the players to fly around on their favorite mounts will not go down well. It is again a system that seeks to replace the old game and nullify the efforts of the players. Make no mistake, I am in love with the idea of Dragonriding, and I do not wish for all mounts to have access to the skills you and your dragon will learn through Dragonriding. But I also do not wish for this system to replace such a big part of what many people love about this game: mounts. May I propose a different approach? At the launch, make Dragonriding the only means of gliding. And then once a player has reached the end of the line, so they have explored the whole of the Dragon Isles, they have gone through all of the story of the Dragon Isles, maybe this can happen in patch 1, 10.1, maybe 10.15. So as soon as they have completed the story, allow them access to their flying mounts to simply fly around. These mounts will be slower and nowhere near as fun for the player, but they will at least be available. Players come in many different shapes and sizes, and what one player may love, another may absolutely hate. So what happens to the players that do not like Dragonriding? What happens to the player that simply wants to mount up, fly to where they need to go, and do not wish to do a bunch of tricks and perform a set of intricate maneuvers just to get to the other side of the mountain? With the current plan, those players will be forced once more to partake in a system they do not care for, a system that makes the game feel more like a chore than an actual place they want to hang out in. All good games provide players with a plethora of choice, a path they can choose and then walk down. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, if we can take a break from the script and just very quickly talk man to man and woman, whoever's watching, the system as it currently stands to be introduced, in my opinion, has quite a few downsides and not very many upsides, other than it will be a fun system for those that enjoy it. If you replace that system with my suggestion, where players will have access to their flying mounts and Dragonriding will be a cool new activity for those that enjoy it, I don't see how that takes away from Dragonriding. I don't understand how that will replace the enjoyment of Dragonriding. It's already been confirmed that the dragon that you glide on is going to be much faster than any of the normal mounts that we have right now in World of Warcraft. So if anything, yes, you are granting players the ability to fly around, but at a much reduced rate and minus all the fun. Keeping the system as it is right now allows for players to start complaining literally at the launch, saying, I don't like the system, I just want my flying mount. And players will continue to complain about the system and that they only want their flying mount until such time that Blizzard introduces the flying mounts in 10.3, which you almost certainly know they will have to due to the pressure that the player base will apply on them. There is another reason why I believe that this system will inherently create a lot of friction that is unnecessary within the gaming audience right now, and that is, what happens if Dragonriding at the launch doesn't quite nail what it wants to be? What happens if it takes Blizzard maybe one full patch, maybe two full patches, to finally nail down what players enjoy about Dragonriding? This is a brand new system after all, and most likely will require multiple iterations. With my system, yes, players might not like the dragon riding system, and therefore they'll just fly around on their normal flying mounts. In the current iteration, if players don't like the dragon riding system, well, tough. This is the system, and it's the only system you have access to. More importantly, and I'll finish with this, I have never been a fan of new expansions replacing the old world. And once more, we have a system that does exactly that. It's one of the main things we complain about when it comes to borrowed power. Borrowed power consistently replaces everything we did up until now, only to lose it by the end of the expansion. This system actually seeks to nullify everything you've done up until this point, literally from Classic to the end of Shadowlands, and say, well, no, you don't have access to any of those mounts. You only have access to our new system that we may be proud of, but you might not enjoy. All in all, why create such a difficult system that will almost certainly be contentious at best? Since World of Warcraft Dragonflight hasn't even begun beta, I thought it best to bring this up now, to start a conversation around it that hopefully informs the developers' decisions moving forward. You may not agree with anything I said, maybe you don't agree with everything, but you agree with some things, and that's why I would love for you to let me know in the comment section down below. But if you enjoyed this video, or at least agreed with some of it, please consider hitting the like button. And if you enjoyed this content so much that you actually want to see more, you know what, subscribe. A very special thank you though to the patrons, Twitch subs, and YouTube members of this channel that make content like this one possible. If you wish to get access to weekly podcasts, behind the scenes live streams, and more, simply click the link in the description down below and become a patron today. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace. To be fair to Dragonriding, and in a sense to highlight my own and combat, no, fuck, no. To be fair to Dragonriding, and in a sense to highlight my own, Jesus. Come on, Akalon, you did all of it so fucking well, and now you're fucking up. May actually serve to allay any fears and potential pushback. Pushback? Good lord. May actually serve to allay and potentially... Oh my Jesus. Ah, fuck. This would certainly be a very cool addition to the game and a new way to gate flying in the future. No, let me change that. What if we can eventually fly around on all of our mounts with also special abilities and maneuvers that is very similar to that of the dragon riding system? No, fucking hell. Players come and redo. And then Alex, it just continues. All right, yeah, I think that's fine.